Hi everyone, it's Iris and I Philly the Grey Witch, coming to you to make a video series called Talking My Tea. Tea as in a play on the slang term for truth. So I've got my teacup right here with chamomile and lavender with a little bit of honey. And so let's talk about my personal views on St. Paddy's Day. This is kind of a hot topic in the pagan community this time of year, just because it has sort of mixed feelings towards the holiday and its history. So you can probably find well, I know you can find the origin story on the internet, so I'm just going to paraphrase. St. Patrick was a saint who sought to convert all of Ireland to Catholicism. At the time, there were still many pagans prevalent that practiced folklore or folky traditions and spirituality. There was also a lot of Protestants at the time. So to St. Patrick and the Catholics, anyone who was not a Catholic was thereby a pagan. Kind of funny to think that Protestant Christians would be considered pagan, but there you go. So effectively, the symbolism in the, I guess, modern retelling of St. Patrick driving away all the snakes in Ireland comes from the symbolism that the Irish pagans used for fertility and rebirth. So they correlated the adder or the snake with fertility and rebirth, which is actually correlates with this time of year. They saw this because of the shedding of the snake skin every so often, kind of like getting rid of that old nasty skin that's holding you back so that you can grow and are thereby transformed and reborn as a new snake. So that correlation and symbolism for the tale of driving out all the snakes really means he drove out all the pagans and Protestants, either by killing them or by converting them. Catholicism and Christianity have been known to adopt traditions and practices from pagans and other non-monotheistic Abrahamic religions in order to convert more people. So that's where that whole thing comes from. So you can kind of see where people have a beef with that as far as the pagan community. If you look at the Irish flag, it was commemorated, I think, shortly after that. Not shortly, but sometime after St. Patrick came to convert Ireland to Catholicism. So the green in the Irish flag represents Catholicism, I believe, and the orange in the flag represents the Protestant Christians, and then the white represents the peace between the two. That was due to, I think, a religious war. But so if you really want to be a pagan and celebrate St. Paddy's Day, what you should wear is the color blue. Back then, the color blue and the color green were actually the same color, much like purple was considered a shade of blue just because our eyes were not trained. We didn't have a name to differentiate these colors. So once we did have a name to differentiate the colors, that's when we started to notice different shades. That's a whole other thing that I learned about colors and color blindness and stuff. But so to secretly kind of hint, hint, wink, wink, I'm a pagan, you should wear blue. Many of the Irish pagans would don blue face paint and other blue items, just because it was their purple, it was their royal divine color. So there's that. Personally, I don't celebrate the St. Paddy's Day in the sense that St. Patrick like drove out all the snakes, yay, kind of thing. I more celebrate the sort of Western Americanized version of St. Paddy's Day, where you kind of honor, embrace your any Celtic heritage or lineage that you have, as well as celebrating a day to drink. Like, just a good, fun day to kind of get out of that winter funk and have a good time with your friends. I don't personally agree with a lot of things that has to do with the Christian and Catholic past and history, just because it did have a lot of it. That's a whole nother talking my tea video. I don't feel like that's something that should be celebrated. The oppression of pagan and Protestant people, the perversion of a spirituality in order to make it seem evil. Like, that's not something I want to celebrate. So that's not the version of St. Paddy's Day that I celebrate. I still go out, I still drink, I still wear green, and hang out with my friends. But maybe this year I'll wear blue more, along with the green. But yeah, what are your thoughts and opinions about St. Paddy's Day? Like, did you know that about the true history of St. Paddy's Day? If not, hopefully this informed you a little bit. Definitely do your own research. Do you guys celebrate St. Paddy's Day? What do you feel about it? Let me know it down in the comments. And I will do my best to keep making videos relatively around Saturday. I am still unpacking. I just got our new chairs for the, we don't really have a dining room. We have an island that has an overhang, so we got a couple chairs to put there, and that's where we're gonna eat, just because we don't really have too many people over, so we don't really need like a whole big table with a bunch of chairs and stuff. But yeah, definitely getting a lot of unpacking done. The place is still a mess, but as soon as I get all these boxes that are in the living room done, and then I can start in the witchy room, and that's going to be exciting because I have a whole room to myself to do all my craft things. So I'm excited about that part. But I want to get everything else settled before I start moving things around in there. Craft room is right here. But yeah, so just a quick little hot take on St. Paddy's Day, and I will see you guys next week in the next video. Blessed be and have a good night.